Who's awake? Who's awake? Who's in this? Who's up with me, man? Shalak in the house. Shalom to you, Ak. My brother Kohaf. Shalom to you. Happy Sabbath, brethren. Where's everybody else at? Everybody else sleep? They wasn't expecting me to go on a Friday Night Live? I guess not. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes, man. Then we got to get to the business at hand. No joke. No time. If you ain't on right now, you just going to catch up. You got to catch up, man. But in times like these, can you afford to catch up, or do you want to keep pace? Ask yourself that. You always want to play catch up, but you want to keep pace. Hey, Shalom, you guy, what's going on, brother? You've reached it. DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. Number 158, episode 158. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, while Yahweh Shai. I want to give all praises to the Most High, whose true name is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. All praises due. It's a Friday Night Lights. Hopefully you took your naps. Hopefully you ready to get right. You know what time it is. We're about to go in tonight. Got some follow-ups to do with my man Ye. Got some follow-ups to do with. Was he lying? I mean, ask yourself this, man. Have you seen the dude interview whatever he was going through? Was he lying? Is there some conspiracy that's going on that don't nobody know about, or that's being well hid? I mean, is the dude off his rocker? Is he really just that crazy? I mean, he got admitted to the psych ward a while back. When they let him out, he dyed his hair blonde. He was wearing a, "Make America Great" hat again, acting real funny. Maybe they lobotomized him, man. Maybe they got him tripping. You tell me. We're gonna find out the truth tonight. Hey, Shalom, what's good, Quatan? Hey, I need to get one of them hoodies, man. I'm gonna hit you up on your inbox on the I guess on Messenger, on Facebook, man. I need to holler at you about scooping up one of those. Brews in the hood. Is it brews in the hood or Hebrews in the hood? Either way, with the ghetto definition on the back, I like that. Need to get at you for those. Holler at my brother for them hoodies and hats and shirts. Young Hebrews woke. All right. Let me get this scroll up out of here, man. Let me get this scroll up out of here, cause yeah, Jews in the hood. There you go. Yeah, I need one of those. I hit you on the messenger. Um, well, we're gonna find out, man, whether Ye is tripping or not, man. Man, he's on that good dope. Is he just making stuff up, man? Is it a figment of his imagination that he's not anti-Semitic? That he is actually a child of God, a chosen son of the Most High, known as an Israelite man? Is he just making this stuff up, man? Is there really a conspiracy of GMO Jew elites that's actually running a program in entertainment that are profiteering off of death and the destruction of our community? Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Y'all know the answer, man. But I gotta come with some facts. I gotta come with some hard data to kind of expose some of those things. And I gotta tread lightly. Unfortunately, I'm not going to curtail my tongue, but I gotta speak in code. You know what I'm saying? People, man, they got them bots out there that's listening in for code word. They listening in for keywords. The flag, take down, disrupt, anything that comes out the mouth of those speaking truth. You already know what time it is. You feel me? So let's get right to the business at hand. All right. Anybody that ain't woke yet, man, you still in the bed, you watching your favorite movie, man. Turn that Netflix off. Get on in this room. Get on this channel. All right. But here we go. Let me open this up, man. First of all, let me open this up. Let me share my screen. All right, there we go. Um, let's get right to it, man. Forget it. Why not? So, in light of everything that's been going on with this brother, man, um, it's very interesting that he's had a couple of different interviews after the fact, right? And the rumor or the word is that uh, Kanye made an apology. Now, see, even in those media outlets that say, "Oh, he apologized," they're trying to frame it to sound as if he's backing down off of what he said. Remember, he said in an interview, he said, "You're not going to Nick Cannon me." And you know what happened to Nick Cannon, man? Nick Cannon's tongue got so dry from licking so many damn boots from the GMO Jews that he didn't know what to do. I mean, he's still wiping brown stuff off his nose right now. I just seen him on TV with a tissue, man. What brown stuff was still coming off his nose. And you know what that stuff was. You dig what I'm saying? Just for saying that the true people of the book are blacks. And not only that, if we did proper knowledge, we'll include the Native Americans and Hispanics. You say that, man, you got big problems going on, man. And you deny the fact that the GMO people, man, that they are out there saying that no, they're the real people. And they got the power, the influence, the money, and the narrative to control the thoughts and the minds of the people. So let's look at this. And I applaud this brother, man, for doubling down on his statements. In his interview with Piers Morgan, um, Piers Morgan kept trying to tell him, man, just apologize. You hurt a lot of people's feelings. First of all, I mean, I'm not heavily watching all media outlets or whatever, but I don't see massive protests of the GMO folks out here in the streets talking about cancel Kanye. I don't see them out there in the black suits with the curly cues and the small hats and the black top hats protesting in front of his record label or anywhere talking about how offended they were. Do you? Am I tripping? Do you see massive outrage from them? Or do you see their operatives canceling, be not befriending, I don't know what the term is nowadays, but severing relationships from him? He just lost his little fashion deal with Balenciaga. He's already lost his, canceled his deals with Adidas. They're auditing and they're coming at his head with his school. The banks have cut off his accounts. And you know what he said? I'm still not apologizing for his quote unquote anti Semitism. Why can he say that with pure confidence? Because what he said was the truth. He said, I can't say, how can I be an anti Semite when I am a Semite or a Shemite, a descendant of Shem? We're going to look at some of them terms in a minute, man. So, of course, he shouldn't apologize for something that's not true. Who are the real anti Semites? Just like he said, they're profiteering off of Black death. That's anti Semitism. They're profiteering off of the promotion of drugs in our communities. That's anti Semitism. They're profiteering off of the imagery that gets portrayed on these movies, be it from drug dealing, pimping, hoeing, uh, all manners of corruption, and then playing roles in roles in movies that distort history. That's anti-Semitism. So who's the real anti-Semite? Who's the ones that are funding all of these particular programs that promote anti-Semitism? You know it, and I know it, right? Now, this is where he shouldn't have. This is where he got caught in this little matrix of thought. So Kanye refuses to apologize for anti-Semitism, then says sorry to those who had nothing to do with his trauma. So, he's talking about stray bullets, the casualties of war. And again, I don't see no massive. Let me look in the chat, man. Am I tripping? Have y'all seen massive protests of the GMO? Revelation 209 folks in the streets calling for him to be canceled or not, or was it automatic? Did Drink Champs cut that interview off as soon as they start hearing backlash? And see, now I gotta show you. Hold on, I'm moving in the spirit. Uh, Look at this. See this guy? Drink Champs is contracted and promoted through Revolt TV. In the public eye, everybody looks at Revolt TV as it's Puffy's or P Diddy. Oh, Revolt, that's Puffy, right? No, no, no. Negro can't own nothing on his own. Puffy's the face of Revolt. Is he a co-founder? Yeah. Does he have stakes in the claims of Revolt TV? Yeah, he's the face man. He's the one that goes out there and tap dances and shines shoes and shows his teeth. While this guy, silent partner, sits back and runs it. Revolt co-founder Andy Schoen takes stake in multi-platform network business Rockstars. Media exec Andy Schoen, who co-founded Revolt Media and TV co-founded with Sean Diddy Combs. I was under the assumption until I looked further into this that it was all Diddy. How silly of me to think. When the curses say, now I got to go to the curse. Deuteronomy 28. See, we talk about ownership, black ownership. Yeah. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. You want to be a media mogul? You got to go to your enemy for it. You got to create covenants and bonds, and you might have to go touch your ankles. Huh? Oh, you didn't? Yeah, that's going on. And in one of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So when we're talking about conglomerations of business, you know that them people got their hands in the pockets and in the partnerships of most of these brands. We just seen um Jay-Z now is selling his shares of Douce liquor, the cognac. Because he said Bacardi tried to what they say? Bacardi tried to undervalue his value or something like that. But basically, man, Jay-Z's out there whining and saying, man, white folks done did me wrong again. I'm selling my shares. But all of a sudden, everybody say, oh, Jay-Z owns Douce. No, he doesn't, man. That's why he had to sell out and let them white folks continue running it. They gonna find a new nigga. Cube said that in Be True to the Game. Ice Cube said that in Be True to the Game, that song. He said that they'll have a new nigga next year. There's always somebody willing to shine, show their teeth for boss. You dig what I'm saying? So he's a co-founder. Puffy's not the sole owner and controller of Revolt. So, and he's one of those GMO folks. So as soon as they hear what Ye had to say, kill that. And he went at Puffy too. So they was in agreement. He goes, "Hey, what are you gonna do about your boy?" Diddy said, "Hey man, he came at me too. Well, what you gonna do about it? Don't worry, boss. I'm cutting it right away." Steve from Django. We's mad at him, ain't we, boss? So boom, he out of here. This is why Revolt cut that real quick. There's always a piece to the puzzle, man. Always a piece to the puzzle, right? So getting back into uh Jay. Now he's saying I'm not apologizing for the anti-Semitism that you guys are trying to say that I'm promoting or saying because he's not, and that's just based upon biblical fact, bloodline, covenant, so forth and so on. You understand? The artist formerly known as Kanye West sat down for an interview with Piers Morgan and said he doesn't regret his recent string of anti-Semitic remarks. In previews from his chat with the British broadcaster, Ye asked if he was sorry that he said he planned to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Well, what does DEFCON 3 mean? Where I got that at? Here, let's look at this. Now, if he said he's going to go DEFCON 3, this is defconlevel.com, right? And let me be careful how I run this. DEFCON level warning system. What is DEFCON 3? What does that mean? It's an increase in alertness and military readiness, also known as a yellow alert status. So if he said that, and when he said that or tweeted that and deleted it after the fact, right? What's wrong with him saying, I'm going to be fully alert and ready to defend? That's military readiness. I'm going to be fully alert and ready to defend against these people that are coming at me. These people who have ruined my life. These people who are constantly trying to smear my name. What's wrong with saying, you know what? I'm ready for everything now. I'm fully alert and I'm ready to defend. Is something wrong with that? The alert color for DEFCON 3 or Roundhouse is yellow. Isn't that cautionary? What do you do when you're driving down the street and the damn light turns yellow? That means approach with caution. Be alert. Pay attention. You could get struck. Slow down. The meaning behind this condition level is similar to that of a yellow caution sign. We are prepared, cautious. What? We are prepared, cautious, and in a state of military readiness. This condition represents a state of preparedness and a high level of caution. So, in other words, what's wrong with him saying, I got to be, I'm fully aware and I'm going to be careful about how I deal with you people. I'm going to be on my P's and Q's. I'm on alert. Now, you can't even, you can't even say, look, I'm not sleeping on on these folks no more. I got to be ready for whatever comes my way because he knew backlash was going to happen after he said what he said. He got in his feelings, sent out a late night tweet. I think he spelt it wrong. I think he said DEATHCON, DEATH, which I believe he doubled down and apologized for it, for misspelling. But that's not that's not a statement of assassination and terrorism to say I'm going to be alert and ready and be prepared to defend mine. I mean, what are you talking about, man? This is how they change up language. The sensitivity of the GMO peoples, man, and the way that they've got everybody programmed to immediately jump to their aid. I mean, where was the aid at, man, when we was dealing with all of the 400 plus years of slavery, all of the damn trauma that we've gone through from Jim Crow all the way up to the civil rights movement, all the way up to the modern day police brutality and neighborhood terrorism that happens with the police, right? Where is all the outrage at? I mean, give me a damn break. Reading on. In previews from his chat with the British broadcaster, Ye asked if he was sorry that he said he planned to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. No, absolutely not. He replied with a smile, to which Morgan suggested he should be. That is as racist as anything you say you've been through, and any pain you've experienced. It's the same thing, said Morgan. How would he know anything about racial trauma, pain, oppression, the curses of Deuteronomy 28:15 through 16? How would he know, and how could he identify at all to equate it to anything? He hasn't lived it. He doesn't know it. What is he? What is he talking about? To which Ye responded, "Yay, yeah. Obviously, that's why I said it." Morgan asked, "So you said it knowing it was racist?" "Yes," said Ye. "I fought fire with fire." Listen, man. Um, First of all, not even first. We're beyond first now. I don't know why I said that. Let's look at this real quick, okay? Some of y'all may have already did the math on this, did the knowledge on this. Semitic, where and how they even change it from Shemitic to Semitic. I mean, they even take out Shem, same way they do Israeli and Israelite. The play semantics to cause confusion. However, definitions is clear and it's coming from their word of mouth. Semitic, of or pertaining to a subdivision of Afro-Asiatics. I don't see nowhere near the so-called white man, a Hebrew or Phoenician, a Hebrew being a descendant of Eber, right? Now, are they Hebrews because of their descendants from Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac? Yeah. But are they actually the Israelite people, the Jews, the covenantal people? Absolutely not. But that's the way and why Kanye said, how can I be anti Semite? The true Semites is us, black folks, 12 tribes. And he utilized it, he did all this stuff for clout, man. You know, he's playing chess. He needed platforms to go out there and start speaking, right? Because he was already, the narrative was already changing on him. Oh, he's tripping. He's saying he made Adidas with the Yeezys and all that other stuff, and he's canceling this deal and having these issues. And his wife is running around laying down with every other, you know, well, not every other, but she running around doing her thing, acting a damn fool like the witch she is, right? So he said, man, I got to get my voice out there, man. Nobody will interview me. They'll interview me after I do this. White lives matter. I said on Wednesday, Hebrew Hump Day, what my interpretation of it was. He even said to the fact that, oh, of course, white lives matter. My baby mama's white. Okay, touche. But the real deal is he did that for clout. He was stating the obvious. And then now that the spotlight is on him and everybody's saying, yeah, you tripping. What the hell are you talking about, man? What's up with you? Oh, well, let me get this interview with Drink Champs. And while I'm on there, I'm going to make mention that the true Jews are the 12 lost tribes of Israel, man, black folks, man. And the blood of Yahweh runs through our veins while the whole world's watching. Bravo. Right? And then while he's at it, expose the obvious in regards to the whole entertainment racket that's being ran by the GMO peoples. So a true Semite is a person of Afro-Asiatic descent. Why do they say Afro-Asiatic? What's an Afro-Asiatic? Of or relating to or being a family of languages widely distributed over southwestern Asia and Africa, including Semitic, Egyptian, Berber, Cushitic and Katic subfamilies. So now they want to try to change it into, oh, it's a language. No, 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 no. These are, first of all, you're acknowledging Afro free people of dark skin complexion coming from North Africa, moving on over to Asia Minor, which is Turkey and in the southern regions from there. All lands where Israelites dwelt and were native to. Do you understand? Look at this. Since they want to mention language, this is where the Afro-Asiatics all were coming from and speaking the same language. So here is the actual land of Shem given by land distribution after the flood, right? All these dark-skinned people that live over here, including North Africa. There's no way them GMO folks can say, oh yeah, and us too. They're not Afro-Asiatic. They can't be in the Semitic line. And when in regards to landmass, language, so forth and so on, man. They don't fit the mold. Again, they're Semites or Shemites because of their descending from Jacob. However, they're not the covenantal people. They're just trying to throw the BS out there. We know that. Here's a book, Time Life book. The Nazi. Well, I gotta be careful because Time Life books, World War II, the bad guys of Germany. Begins with an N. That's part of the name. That's the name of it. Matter of fact, because once I'm saying what I'm saying, and if they hear me say that N word, and I ain't talking about, see, I can say nigga. They're not tripping about that. You dig what I'm saying? But if I say NAZIS in cahoots with what I'm going into, oh, this thing is getting flagged. Getting flagged. See how wicked they are, man? Oh, hold on. This is why y'all need to get with the MOTC Library Chronicles. These are some of the gems you might check out, right? Uh, so you can see on here. See, look at it. You get it used for $2.41 and up off of Amazon. Original hard copy, $34. They got a whole volume. I think it's 39 volumes. Time Life Books did about World War II. All the World War I think World War II is like 39 volumes. It's like damn near $200 if you want all of them. We don't need all of them. That's this book right here. Okay. Now, this right here is a portion I'm getting ready to read from, right? But look at this. This is the Oriental. He said these are the Hamites, these are the Negroes, and he said this is what they're saying. All of these equals this person. This is what the Germans was trying to promote. But they did it through movies, right? But let's look at this real quick. Goebbels and Hitler, it's ridiculous, personally appraised a new German movie when the Fuhrer complained that films espousing the NIZI line were too scarce. Goebbels rushed a pair of anti-Semitic pictures into production. So when the Fuhrer, if you know who that is, the guy with the little mustache, wasn't happy with the films that was coming out and the portraying of his people, Joseph Goebbels, his little propaganda machine, said, well, we'll make some films that promote pro NIZI, right? So look what it said. In one segment of NIZI instructional film, The genetic heritage of the Jew is purportedly traced to Oriental, Negro, Near Asian, and Hamitic people. So they knew and understood, and they promoted it in the film and said they knew that the true heritage of the Lord's people were traced to Oriental, Negro, or Afro Asiatics, huh? Near Asian and Hamitic peoples. Hence, the film concludes the Jew is a bastard. Below the villainous title character of Judge Sus, a violent anti Semitic melodrama, spins schemes with his crony, Rabbi Leo. So, the point of the matter is that their arch enemy understood and knew the bloodline and said, well, let's promote this in the film. And the GMO people, well, yeah, they're made up. They're not original. To keep it as plain as I can. So is Ye tripping? I don't think so. Matter of fact, I believe he has some pro Führer comments that he said in a couple of interviews. I don't know if it was the one with LeBron James or somewhere else, but they were saying that he was quoted as saying that he was not necessarily a fan, but he didn't have anything negative to say about the Führer. Let's leave it at that. Um, so I mean, we know what time it is with that. Let's get a couple scriptures as well. Let's go to Isaiah. So who are these folks over here, man, claiming that they're us? We know what time it is. Isaiah 1:7. Some of the classics. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devoured it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Who strangers? They're in our land. Um, I mean, just look at this. This is another thing. The descriptive suffix ish. In this word shop article, Susan Ebers helps readers to distinguish between words ending in the suffix ish and other type of ish words. Ebers then provides teachers with some creative suggestions for introducing students to the suffix ish. This is vocabulary.com. Words ending in a suffix ish are often adjectives, but the suffix has several senses. The suffix ish is flexibly used with a base word to denote somewhat, somewhat prone to, or somewhat like. Look at this: ticklish, reddish blue, stylish, childish, boyish, a waspish tongue, a foolish old woman, a coldish wind, Jewish, somewhat or somewhat like. Do you understand? Of course you do. Of course you do. It's the maniacs out here in the world, man, who's running like crazy, quick to try to cancel because they don't understand the truth or refuse to acknowledge it. Strangers devour our land. The Balfour Declaration. Many of y'all know about this. Statement of the British Balfour Declaration of November 2nd, 1917 is a statement of British support for the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people. It was made in a letter from Arthur James Balfour, the British Foreign Secretary, to who? Lionel Walter Rothschild and Baron Rothschild, a leader of the Anglo Jewish community. So, when you ask if the Rothschilds had anything to do with the approving of and the support of the Balfour Declaration, you absolutely can bet your bottom dollar. Uh, This is all off of Britannica. You can read all of this, man. Just gives you the history and the background about the Balfour Declaration if you didn't know already. But getting down to the bottom, look at this. After they were making certain provisions that the GMO folks were saying was pro Palestinian and Arab, and they was defiant against it, they finally made a complete conclusion and said all of the land is going to belong to these people. Let's just look at it. In May 1939, the British government altered its policy in a white paper recommending a limit of 75,000 further immigrants and an end to immigration by 1944, unless the resident Palestinian Arabs of the region consented to further immigration. So, do you see why they're over there fighting? Do you see why they're over there mad as hell? Because they're saying, listen, we was here before you. We're getting pushed and annexed out to let these people come up in here. They're not even the real people. Gamal Nasser, I believe in Time Life and the Time magazine in the 70s, said that the Jews left black and returned white. Gamal Nasser. I think he was a Palestinian general or something like that. I can't remember his position, but he was quoted in I believe it's in Time magazine in the 70s. He made that statement. So here they said, well, listen, we can move you over. We're going to limit how many of you can come over here unless the Palestinian president says it's okay to further immigration. But look at this. Zionists condemned the new policy, accusing Britain of favoring them filthy, dirty sand niggas. Oh, excuse me, I mean Arabs. Zionists condemned the new policy, accusing Britain of favoring the Arabs. This point was made moot by the outbreak of World War II and the founding of the State of Israel in 1948. This is why they're Israelis. They're named after the land, not after the descendant of Jacob. Of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. So, what the Most High say? Your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolated as overthrown by strangers. So you dang right, it's strangers over there in our land, and there's multiple prophecies, man, that acknowledge and say that the true people are not back in their land yet. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart and despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Who's inhabiting our land? Who is taking Idumean, the heathen? And you and I both know who Idumea is. There they go. Y'all know Psalms 83 about them having the nations coming and being confederate against us. The name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They've taken the land. They've conspired against us. Here we go. Psalms 83. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. This is why you got them Old Testament only. They don't want to have nothing to do with a Mashiach, a Messiah. You know, they hate the true people of the Most High, and they hate the Most High. This is why they create the Kabbalah. This is why they got the Talmud with these offshoot demonic and witchcraft books based upon numerology and gematria and all kind of madness. This is why they have a funny ritual when they do circumcision, and you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I can't speak on it right here because it's pedophilic in nature. Anyway, they've taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's how you know that Israel is a nation, not just a landmass. Cutting off the nation means you're cutting off the name of the people that can no longer be in remembrance. And for sure, they made that happen because we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. Let me get one more in Psalms. Psalm 17. I think I want to show. Let's read verse 8 and down. It says, keep me, Psalm 17, verse 8. Keep me as the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. This is why Ye said, I got to go DEFCON 3. It's the same type of prayer, but in military terms. He's saying, I need to be cautious. I need to be aware. I need to be prepared. I need to have my military defenses up. An onslaught is going to come my way. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth, they speak proudly. They say they're the people. They say that's their land. They say we run Hollywood. We control the narrative. We say what you can and can't do. We can get you canceled. We've got multiple people on the payroll willing to Tom and Coon their way out for a little success. And they're not going to ruin those relationships. Nori from Drink Champs. This guy came out immediately, said he felt bad. He wanted to apologize, and he didn't know it was going to go that far. But they got drunk, and come on, man. It's the same Nori from CNN. I get it, man. Dude's in his mid-40s now. He didn't grown up in the whole nine. But at what point in time does your mentality change into where you just become this court jester, where everything is a damn joke, weed smoking, and liquor? That's the new hustle now. You can't speak with a conscious mind anymore. You got to act like you don't know any of these streams of consciousness. You don't understand none of this stuff no more. When I listen to the old CNN albums and all that, he was a 5%er. He had knowledge of self, so-called knowledge of self and all that. But then after that, he go solo, man. Next thing you know, man, he's all over the place. Everything's entertainment. And now when it comes down to it, when you saying Drink Champs, we created this show for our legends and giving you a voice and da 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 da. But you really don't have no voice, man, because when Adam Showen, co-founder of Revolt, taps Puffy on the shoulder and says, hey, handle that. They gotta be the bad guys and go out there and show face and say, yeah, we gotta cut Kanye. I mean, down to I seen Kodak Black saying that Kanye is bat is crazy. Now, Kodak Black is a self-proclaimed Israelite. I don't get what he's what is wrong with this dude. Kodak Black proclaimed himself to be an Israelite, but now he's condemning Kanye in the public, saying that he's bat crazy. How does that work? How did they get him? I just seen this earlier. Look, Kodak Black calls Kanye West bat is crazy and wants Donald Trump as the 2024 president. Like this dude don't have enough problems of his own, man. That now he's got to be the voice to come out and say, you know what, I got to secure my bag. I got to secure what I got going on. Even down to this little niglet, he got to be going out there to condemn him. So Nori turns his back on Kanye. Kodak Black, he come out. All these Hollywood figures, man, entertainers they are, man, he's tripping. Regardless, whatever he said about the George Floyd thing, I don't agree with that. Try to downplay the dude died at the hands of the so-called white man, knee to the neck. Man, he's out of pocket for that. And then try to say it was the fentanyl. Did he have fentanyl in the system? Yeah. Was he probably smoking? Did he pop some pills? Probably so. If it's in his system, but you're a damn fool, man, if you don't think that that knee has something to do with his death. 8 minutes, bro? Come on, Jay. Wake up, man. Knock off that foolishness. But at the end of the day, you even got a Negro like this, man. Kodak Black done been to Sabbath services and the whole nine. But now he done turned all the way left and says Kanye's back crazy. I show you how deep the roots go, man. How far they can reach and touch some of these folks, man. You know what? There's something else I wanted to share with y'all, and this is something else, right? Uh, hold on, where are we at? Am I missing something in here? God, there you go. Yeah, that not Tali. They're Ashkenaz by the land. That's where you get them. They're accounting themselves as being part of Ashkenaz because of the why am I drawing a blank of them descending and settling into parts of Germany and Poland and whatnot. If you look at the land of Japheth where they descend from, that's why they hold on to those things, man. Uh, it's like I'm getting caught up in the comment. I have to double back on them, but nonetheless, I mean, we see what it is, right? Now, this is a film. You can find it on. You can find it on. Uh, you can find it on YouTube. The full one. You got to pay for. But there is a link on here that's got um damn near the whole thing. See this one right here? Is that it? This is the actual one. But it says Hollywoodism an empire of their own. That's the name of the documentary, which is very interesting to me because this particular documentary shows. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think this is the same one. Hollywoodism, Jews, movies, and American Dream feature documentary. That might be a different one, but the one that I've seen is an empire of their own. Right? White man produced it, made it, so forth and so on. I think it's $1.99 or something like that on Amazon and some of the other places, but you can find it on YouTube for free. I think they play. I think this might be the one. I think the whole thing is 141 minutes. This might be it. I'm not sure. I think they had to change the name up so that it doesn't they don't get a copyright on it. But nonetheless, this movie, man, exposes and shows how the GMO peoples um carved out their niche in Hollywood. How they run it. 6 movie studios since the 20s, you know. And they were in this whole conglomerate against the Edison companies. They were the only other filmmakers. They come over here fresh off the boat, man. Talk about how they got subjected to the ghettos, struggling, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, they were able to open up movie theaters. They were premiering movies, which included blackface movies, which included negative stereotypes of our people. They were out here promoting. That documentary also shows how they control the narratives of public thought, because what they wanted was a narrative for them to be accepted amongst the public. So they did a certain type of movie. You understand? So it only shows you how they control the narrative. It also shows you that they uh they exploited black people with song and dance. They said they knew they couldn't do it, so they wanted to have they had the black people, our people. It's just in Psalms. They had our people performing and singing and doing all of that in their movies. Same way that they got us right now, performing, tap dancing, and the whole nine with music, hip hop, so forth and so on. They've been utilizing and taking advantage of our people and our talents for since what, the 19 early 1900s, moving on up to the present day. Psalms 137 and 3. For there they that carried us away captive required us a song. We do know that the GMO peoples had their hand in funding slavery, right? Carried us away captive, required us a song, and they that wasted us required us mirth. They that wasted us required us mirth. They capitalized in wasting our people away, promoting black death, genocide. You understand? All the negative imagery they're behind, and said, be happy about it. Saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. So when you watch that, I implore brothers and sisters, man, go watch that documentary, Empire of the Own, man. They break down all of the people, man, that's involved, from Harry Warner, founder of Warner Brothers, Samuel Goldwyn, formerly Samuel Goldfish. That's another thing. They changed their names. They didn't want to be identified or pinpointed for being quote unquote Jewish or having Jewish names. So they changed their names as well. So they got, testimonies of people, the descendants of these men, they said they didn't even know that they was Jewish until later in life. They hid it that well. They intermarried, they married, what they called Gentile women. They was trying to completely hide and cover up their tracks, but they all ran Hollywood, man. Samuel Goldwyn, uh, uh, who else was it? William Fox, Louis Mayer, they MGM, Adolf Luker or Lucor. I forgot his name. Adolf something. Adolf. It's in the movie, man. That's who made 20th Century Fox. Um, all of these cats, man, all running Hollywood, all creative narrative and movies and whatnot, man. It just goes to show you that everything that they're doing right now is the same thing that they were doing back then. Straight up. Watch that if you have. Has anybody seen that? Acknowledge it in the chat, man, if you've seen that. Con, that's right. No other name under heaven. Yeah, they ain't no choice. They ain't no choice. Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm just reading some of the comments. Yeah, some of y'all up on it, man. If you thought you seen enough, Tolly. If you haven't, man, brothers and sisters, man, go check that out, man. an empire of their own. That solidifies the deal, letting it be known that they run Hollywood, man. I think they had a good, and then this is how they covered up too, man. They had like a 50-year run, and then they got taken to court. Many of these Hollywood conglomerates, man, they got taken to court because they were getting accused of promoting communist movies and communist material. So with that being said, that they put a lot of their movies and their credibility under question, and they shut down some of their operations. But nonetheless, I mean, all of them are still running this thing, running the show. It's generationally, families are passing it down. Um, as far as the um, the work is concerned. So check that out, man. It's only going to confirm and solidify what Kanye's saying, what everybody else in the entertainment industry knows, but is scared to admit to. You understand? But nonetheless, let's get to some of these other articles. Um, okay, so U.S. Iranian troops in Crimea are backing Russian drone strikes. Why is this important? Because we said it ad nauseum, damn near, with Ezekiel 38, that Iran would be assisting Gog and Magog, right? Gog and Magog is Russia, Prince of Meshach, Moscow, so forth and so on. That the Lord in verse 4, that he was going to turn back Russia and put hooks in his jaws. He's going to bring him into conflict. He's going to bring him into a war. That's why I said he's going to have all his army, his horsemen, the horses, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. The first ally that we see here is Persia. Persia is Iran. Okay, and neighboring countries that was in within the Iranian peninsula of rulership, but mainly Iran. Okay, Iran has given them kamikaze drones. Now they're acknowledging that they've got troops in there backing the Russian strikes. So this is all going according to plan. It's all going to prophecy. All according to the ways that the Most High is shifting and moving the puzzles of the chessboard on the world stage. The White House said Thursday that Iranian troops are, quote, directly engaged on the ground in Crimea, reporting Russian drone attacks on Ukrainians' power stations and other key infrastructure, claiming it has troubling evidence of Tehran's deepening role assisting Russia as it exacts suffering on Ukrainian civilians just as the cold weather sets in. So this is I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, because when Iran double back and launches attacks on the land of Israel, they're going to expect Russia to get their back as well. They already still got massive protests going on over there and all of that in Iran, but they're not tripping. This is chess. They're going over there to go help. They have no choice. We just seen that they're going to be responsible for helping in this warfare, right? So Iran is going over there. They've got the drones over there. Now they got boots on the ground helping, only enhancing the likelihood that we're moving closer towards World War III. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters that Iran has sent a relatively small number of personnel to Crimea, a part of Ukraine unilaterally annexed by Russia in contravention of international law in 2014, to assist Russian troops in launching Iranian-made drones against Ukraine. Well, what's good for the goose has got to be good for the gander, right? All the money, all the weapons that's being shipped to Ukraine, that you don't think that the British troops are not over there training and launching and showing how to program the drones and stuff that they're getting, that American troops aren't over there, boots on the ground. We covered the articles I showed y'all a couple weeks ago. CIA has operatives over there right now fighting. So technically, yeah, it's a proxy war, but other nations are involved, which essentially can and will escalate into a greater conflict for the world stage to see. Let's see. That's it of that one. Let's move on. Pentagon to provide funds and help for troops seeking abortion. I mean, this is why we're seeing America is going to be destroyed, man. America is slowly but surely collapsing. They've done war game scenarios. Experts are now saying that if America was to get into a conflict, they will get destroyed. They said that the Navy is weak. Uh, Many of the other military branches are weak. I mean, they got the sodomites and the trannies in there running loose. They got the troops running around wearing red high heels when they're marching, and then you wonder why this place is going to be this place is subject to destruction. Oops, here they go. Look at them. This is for the U.S. Army Forces cadets to walk in red high heels for a feminist event. That's one. If you said no, that's fake. That's Photoshop. Here goes another one. Oh, that one's fake. That's Photoshop. How about this one? Maybe him. Maybe this is fake too. His feet hurt from wearing them damn heels. Is that fake too? Come on, man. Stop the madness. New York Post. U.S. military rated as, quote, weak may not be able to win one war as tensions grow with China and Russia. Well, is it any coincidence? Any coincidence? Look at this. Sirach 10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So, as the head of the snake moves, the rest of the body will follow. Just look at slow Biden. Is it making sense now? Why the military is weak? I mean, this dude gets lost on stage. He's shaking hands with, ghosts. He's quote, looking for dead people, and he got the sixth sense in the middle of a speech, looking for the dead congresswoman that died in the plane crash a month before. You understand? He fumbling upstairs, falling, getting lost on the compounds of the damn White House, constantly stuttering and mumbling. I mean, they've got so many compilations of him all out of pocket. Can't rule his own house well, man. His son is a dope fiend with rotten teeth, with a penchant for hookers and a crack pipe, and then you wonder why America is going to be destroyed, man. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And then we see that the U.S. military is rated as weak and may not be able to win one war. The U.S. military may not be able to win one war, let alone two, as the Pentagon struggles to keep its forces equipped against potential threats from China and Russia, according to a new report on American military strength. Years of underfunding and poorly defined priorities has led the military to become weak relative to the force needed to defend national interests on the global stage, the Conservative Heritage Fund said in its annual index of U.S. military strength. How about that? And then what do? They instead of trying to shore up their defenses, they said, "Well, we'll take this defense spend money, and we'll make sure that these women that's out here getting raped can get their abortions." Y'all know that goes on heavily within the military, heavy within them. Let me close some of these tabs. Got the troops wearing the heels. The trannies is out here running the show. Um, what else say? Let's just look at this first. The Invisible War: Sexual Assault on Women in the U.S. Military. Isn't that something? 2020 film, 2012 film, I should say. It said 500,000 cases. Where did I see that? I don't understand. Military sexual trauma. But don't worry, ladies. White man said he's going to pay for your inconvenience. Make sure that you can get that abortion. Unbelievable. Let me see if I seen it. I could have sworn I seen 500. Yeah. The Invisible War Oscar nominated documentary on sexual assault in the military estimates that at least 500,000 women have been sexually assaulted in the U.S. military since being allowed to enter into the armed forces in the 40s. 500,000 sexual assault and rape cases going on in the military. And you want to be all that you can be, huh, ladies? You want equal rights, man. You want to be G.I. Jane. You want to go out there. You want to fight right along with the men. Hmm? The Pentagon will provide travel funds and support for troops and their dependents who seek abortions but are based in states where they are now illegal, according to a new department policy released Thursday. The military will also increase privacy protections for those seeking care. The order issued by Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin outlines the rights and protections service members and their dependents will have regardless of where they are based, which was a key concern of troops with the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade in June. This is what they're concerned about. Still trying to support and get some votes and some trickery going on before these November primary elections happen. Still trying to spoil with gifts. Let's move on. General Armageddon. I talked about him on Wednesday. This is Putin's new appointed commander. With a nickname like that, man, where you think this thing is gonna go? We looked at the articles on Wednesday. They said a lot of these a lot of the foreign nationals and diplomats that was posting up in Ukraine, from China to Uzbekistan and all the other stands, they told them, man, get out, everybody out. It's about to go down. Putin says we got to get martial law locked in the annexed nations so that we can secure militarily these new regions before the Ukrainians start acting a fool. General Armageddon, the feared commander and convicted criminal brought in by Putin to oversee Ukraine's destruction with missile blitz, who will relish the impending battle of Kherson. Putin appointed Sergei Surovikin, Russia's commander in Ukraine, on October 8th. 2 days later, a barrage of missiles struck 300 towns and cities in the country. Surovikin earned a reputation for using unconventional strikes in Syria. Now, amid fears Putin could resort to using nuclear weapons to end his failing war, General Armageddon is the man tasked with turning the tide on the ground. Well, sounds like he's ready to turn it up. And Putin said, man, do your worst. Salaki for not having some of these in order. But this is economically what's going on. You know, Elon Musk has got the deal back on the table for him to acquire Twitter. This is one of Ye's little buddies, and they're working on a little conglomerate force to try to push a new media narrative, because he's one of the more hated ones and voices that's out there that goes against some of the conservative views. And now you got Ye when his acquisition of the Parler social media app. So now they got Parler, they got Twitter. They're getting ready to start changing a lot of the narratives, man, having voices to speak out on certain things, right? But this cat comes in, man. Elon Musk, I think he said he's about to cut 75% of the workers. So a lot of people in there working for Twitter about to get that notice. 75% said they're about to get hit. Look, Twitter's workforce is likely to be hit with massive cuts in the coming months, no matter who owns the company. Interviews and documents obtained by the Washington Post show a change likely to have major impact on its ability to control harmful content and prevent data security crises. So, in the tech sphere, we've been talking about layoffs and inflation and stagflation and everything else that's going on, man. The Fed raising these interest rates, talking about there's going to be some uh, softening unemployment, to quote Jerome Powell. Well, there you have it. And I believe in this article it says 75% of Twitter's workforce is going to be cut. I don't want to be off on that. Okay, I'm not off. Elon Musk plans to cut 75% of Twitter workforce of a 7,500 person Twitter workforce. So of that 75%, 7,500, 75% is getting sent home. You see that? And we know that the tech sphere was supposed to be a safe bet when it came down to employment, the future, so forth and so on, man. These are some of the spots that's getting hit first, from Twitter to Coinbase to Amazon. We've seen what's his name, Zuckerberg. You know them Bergs. He's a GMO. He's a GMO cat, right? He's I think he said he's laying off 10,000. So economically, we see where this thing is headed, man. Buckle up. I'm gonna do a lesson on that tomorrow. China's military is catching up to the U.S. Is it ready for battle? This is why we're starting to see all of the lines being drawn. All of the nations are out there testing their weaponry, flexing their proverbial muscle. China thinks they got next. We just got through seeing that they see that the U.S. is at a weakened state right now. They're talking about that there's talks that they may attack Taiwan before the end of the year. If they do that, the U.S. is not ready to battle China through Taiwan, and they damn sure still can't continue on funding and low key fighting in this proxy war with Ukraine and Russia. The People's Liberation Army now has hypersonic missiles that evade most defenses, a technology the U.S. is still developing. The attack drones can swarm to paralyze communication networks. China's naval ships outnumber America's, and it launched its third aircraft carrier this summer, the first to be designed and built in the country. Its defense budget is second only to the U.S.'s. China's military has more serving members at around 2 million compared with just under 1.4 million in the U.S. So they got an extra 600,000 troops they can throw at it. Technology is up to par and above and beyond what America's working with right now. This is what you see in Revelation 17. It says, man, and the nation, the 10 horns is going to hate the whore. They're going to turn on this place. China's going to say, you know what? Forget all of the bonds and all the debt that you owe us. Forget all of that madness that we got, man. The real estate bonds that we got, and we purchase all your debt. The hell with it. We want the world, and we're going to fight for it. Let's move on. China could invade Taiwan as early as this year. U.S. Naval Chief warns as Xi Jinping solidifies his grip on Beijing and the Communist Party. It's not just what Jinping says, it's how the Chinese behave and what they do. Gilday said at an event held by the Atlantic Council Wednesday, what we've seen over the past 20 years is that they have delivered on every promise they've made earlier than they said they were going to deliver on it. So, they're saying that for the last 20 years, everything China says they're going to do, they do it, and they do it before they said they're going to do it. That's why they're saying they may not wait till 2023. They may do it in the next 2 months. And if they're looking at the state of affairs with America, They might be making a calculated decision that America ain't ready to counteract with. We'll see. Let's move on. Defiant G tells the world China is ready to stand its ground. So now we're seeing China rising up even more. In a speech running almost 2 hours on Sunday, Xi let the world know that China wouldn't change course even if it faces, quote, dangerous storms in a more hostile world. See, they're not worried about no damn sanctions. They're not worried about who steps up to the plate and says, we'll challenge you to war. They're rising up to the occasion, but the Most High said that Asia would be involved in the warfare. Let me see. See that? Woe, second Ezra 16:1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. So essentially, we're seeing East, West coming to a clash. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is set upon you. Who may turn it back? When the Most High says that it's time for warfare, man, destruction and judgment, it can't be turned back. It's already been declared. It's already been prophesied. It's already gone forth into the spirit. Can't be turned back. A fire is sent among you. Who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you. And what is he that may drive them away? You know, China still is locking down their people for their zero DVOC policy. And for the new ones that don't know what DVOC is, just spell it out and put it in a mirror. It's a certain word said backwards. Okay. Uh, Plagues are there, man. They got 1 million people locked down right now. Look at this. 4 days ago, China locks down almost 1 million people near iPhone factory. These are the plagues they're getting hit with. Plague sent among you. What is it? And what is he that may drive them away? So this is why China now is becoming more brazen with them wanting war, because this is the Most High stirring up the spirit of the nations. They're all creating a spirit of warfare in the world. North Korea is damn near launching missile tests every other week. Not even every other week, damn near weekly of late. Russia just got through shooting at a British plane and said, "Oh, it was a malfunction." Yeah, right. The Coast Guard just spotted Russian and Chinese warships off the coast of Alaska. Iran has got themselves involved in the war. The Israelis and the Palestinians are still going at it as we speak. There's warfare going on in Africa right now. In Ethiopia, I believe they're catching hell over there. Yeah, see, U.S. protects Ethiopian immigrants from deportation, citing civil war in their home country. See, they're having warfare going on over there. You understand? So this is the spirit that's out there. This is why all these nations is out there doing what they're doing. It's all going to lead to a final frontier of World War III. Thus saith the Lord. Los Angeles is running out of water and time. Are leaders willing to act? We see the drought continually increasing. Water police is around. The charging for more usage of water. Me and a brother were just talking about that the other day. The water bill, trash, electric, massively gone up. And now they're talking about how much more this drought is affecting the earth, right? Um, on a clear afternoon recently, Mayor Eric Garcietti looked down at the Hollywood Reservoir from 1,200 feet in the air. It's as low as I can ever remember it being. Garcetti said of the reservoir from the back seat of a Los Angeles Department of Water and Power helicopter. You can see the bathtub ring. The aerial survey of LA's water infrastructure came at a critical moment over the last decade. The city has made significant investments in its future, including major projects to expand its ability to capture, store, and recycle water. But now, on the eve of an election, much of the work remains unfinished, with target dates for some major water projects set as far as 2050. You think America's gonna make? I mean, California's gonna make it that far to 2050? Lord, I hope not. Lord, I hope not, man. That's gonna be a hell of a long time for us to wait to be delivered if we gotta wait another damn 30 years or 28 years. Come on. And that's when they said they're actually gonna actually do the work to put the infrastructure in to try to help with the water. I don't think so. I don't think so. But it just shows you, man. Here we go. More problems. Um, let me read this in Isaiah. Look what's happening in the times of Egypt. Knowing that this is modern day Egypt, right? Isaiah 19:5 and 6. And the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. And they shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and the flags shall wither. So we're seeing that there is going to be major drought happening in Egypt of old and in current Egypt. And in current Egypt. Let's look at Isaiah 50. 50. Isaiah 50. Uh, no, Slack, Jeremiah. Jeremiah 50:38. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols, man. What place better than California, man? The land of graven images. The Hollywood sign up there in the hills, the stars in the Walk of Fame. This is the place where all of the idols get shared and passed along when they have their award shows. Holly weird, all the imagery and imagination and the magic happens. You know what they say? Huh? I mean, isn't where you taking your kids to go on vacation to Disneyland so you can see their favorite idols, man? Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and all the rest of them. They're mad upon their idols. Land of graven images, man. Land of the sodomites and the LGBTQ plus community, HIV community. Excuse me. The Lord said they got to get hit. We're getting hit with this drought, man. And they said the whole damn city and county is running out of water. They still got to input. They still got the damn law up saying that the one of the pipes busts and no, you can't water your lawn or nothing for 15 days. I think that's been extended. And if you do, there's fines to pay. You know, they just trying to get everybody to slow down on the water, man. Look at this. U.S. nears record poultry deaths from bird flu virus type complicates the fight. So the food chain and the food supply still taking more hits. Bird flu's at almost at record pace. When you're hearing record, man, we're talking history, historical levels. Bird flu, right? How's that going to affect the supply chain? They're already talking about, for the damn, not that it matters for us, because no Israelites should be keeping Thanksgiving. But they're talking about how expensive the turkeys are now because of the food shortages and the inflation prices and all of that. Hopefully that ruins many people's Thanksgiving, man, and they don't celebrate it. That's one thing. Hopefully that happens. Yeah, see, boo hoo. Boo hoo. Supply chain woes. Inflation could push costs of Thanksgiving turkeys to highest levels. Hopefully you Negroes, man, your EBT cards get maxed out and you can't afford it and you ain't gonna spend that money celebrating the damn genocide and mass deaths of our people, man. Toasting and eating gluttonous over in a ridiculous folly day, man, that celebrates death. So turkeys, look, 73% due to the factors like avian flu, which is the bird flu. So, expect chicken prices to stay up. Uh, we see the turkey prices, they going up. The supply chains is really what's going to be affected by this. A near record number of U.S. chickens and turkeys have died in this year's outbreak of avian flu, as a different form of the virus than farmers battled before has infected more wild birds than that then transmit the disease. Officials said more than 47 million birds have died due to infections and cullings. This has spurred export bans, lowered egg and turkey production, and contributed to record prices of the staples ahead of the U.S. holiday season. The outbreak exacerbates economic pain for consumers grappling with soaring inflation. Look at this forecast for U.S. recession within a year hits 100% in a blow to Biden. So all economic forecasts are saying it's 100% guaranteed there will be a recession within the next year. So 2023, if we're talking about how much gas is right now and how much our grocery bills have gone up and how much more our energy bills are, we haven't seen anything yet. Next year is going to be even worse, worse to levels not seen. So uh, prepare yourself as best as you can. Store up, watch the ingredients, make sure that they are kosher. We'll talk more about that in the future, but we're already in a recession. They're just now trying to come clean and just say, "Oh, well, we are, but it's not going to. It really hasn't hit yet, like we're expecting, until next year." So look at this. The latest recession probability models by Bloomberg economists Anna Wong and Eliza Winger forecast a higher recession probability across all time frames within the 12-month estimate of a downturn by October 2023, hitting 100%, up from 65% for the comparable period in the previous update. So it's not a matter of if, it's when. So that means, when recession's up, that means prices is up, jobs is down, there's less spending economically. The housing market is going to get affected. Your real estate, your home's going to be devalued. All of that stuff, man. All of that stuff is all going to be bad come next year and moving forward. If it hasn't already been bad for you, for us in the last 2 years, it's really been bad this past year. Next year, they saying 100% is going to be even worse. So, don't look to go run to the polls to try to keep slow Biden and his Democrat cronies in control of the House. How's that worked out for the last damn? He ain't even been in office 2 years yet, man. How's that been working out for the Negro and the Hispanic running around talking about your votes count? We can't make change unless we vote. We got to get out there and vote. Hey, it's better than nothing. It's better him than Trump. I can't tell. I mean, two feathers. I mean, two wings of the same bird. One just tells you the truth out his mouth. The other one tries to get slick. Both of them devils. I mean, come on. So if you think you're in good hands with the Democrats, then good luck. We just got through seeing as a leader of the people are with as weak as slow Biden is, everything's gonna be collapsing. Look at this. Nightmare DVOC variant that beats our immunity is finally here. Imagine that. Has anybody seen monkeypox? You seen him around? Is monkey? Is he gone? Because I haven't heard anything about him of late. Remember that was going to be the next big scare. Everybody was supposed to get locked down, and they realized, hey, everybody was still moving around. People were just like, man, I'm not messing with it. It's not like that. I'm not scared. I'm not going back to that, year ago, 2 years ago scenario. So what they do? They stopped hyping that. They cut off all the TikTokers and told them all, you know what, it ain't working. They ain't scared. We got to bring back the nightmare again. We just seen on Wednesday, you seen the Boston University bubbled up a new strand that kills 80% of its victims, all mice at this point. But by all estimations, the same percentage will hit humans. So they got one lab cooked up, ready for the oops, it escaped. Oops, something happened. How did it get out? How do you get infected with this? They got that one right. But now they got this one. A new subvariant of the novel CV called XBB dramatically announced itself earlier this week in Singapore. Dramatically announced itself. Interesting. The new DVOC 91 cases more than doubled in a day, from 4,700 on Monday to 11,700 on Tuesday. And XBB is almost certainly why. The same subvariant just appeared in Hong Kong too, always over there in Asia. They got Ebola and what else for with the Africans? Ebola and they got another one. They always say come up out of there. Ebola's the big one. Right now, Ebola is making its way through Uganda, jacking them up over there. And now they got the Asian threat coming. XBB now. Because y'all wasn't scared enough from monkeypox. So we gotta, they drummed up a new one. And they said if you ain't worried about XBB, well remember we got the Boston lab waiting too. One way or the other, we lock you niggas down. Taking your rights. We're gonna rearrange the whole economic system. We just got to seeing China ain't gave up. China's still pushing the issue. Million people locked down. They storing them in like plastic bags, damn near, over there, isolating them. Highly mutated descendant of the Okra or the Amarion, variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus that drove a record wave of infections starting around a year ago. XBB is in many ways the worst form of the virus so far. Haven't we heard that somewhere before? Delta, Omarion, B1A, B1. I mean, they had a whole, and each one is the worse than the first. It's more contagious than any previous variant or subvariant. It also evades the antibodies and monoclonal therapies, potentially rendering a whole category of drugs ineffective as treatments. Imagine that. So there's no cure. There's no drugs that they got right now that can beat this thing. And then they got another one that says 80% of people get to die. Good Lord. Look at this on the tech side. Apple's VR metaverse headset will scan your eyeballs for information. Isn't that convenient? The biometrics is only getting ramped up even more. Your fingerprint, that wasn't enough. Scanning your face, that's not enough. Now they wanted to look into your retina so that you can activate your metaverse characters. Everyone knows that looking at screens for too long can give you square eyes. But what about eyeball scanning? Tech giant Apple is rumored to be working on a virtual reality or mixed reality headset next year, which will ask users to scan their eyeballs to log in, pay for things, and use apps. Hmm. Forehead. Uh, you know what I'm talking about? Either in his right hand or in his forehead. Oh, okay. All right. Let me be quiet, man. Last time, like I said, we did a breakdown of Revelation 13 and lost privileges in the YouTube sphere for a little while. So, but look at that. Scanning your eyeballs to log in and pay for things and to use your apps. This iris scanning tech will also allow users to easily switch between user profiles, enabling different people to share the same headset with ease. Isn't that nice? As it records each retina scan. So if I got the apparatus and that scan on mine, and I'm using mine, and I pay for my apps, and I'm playing my games and doing whatever, and then I go hand it to my brother or whoever, and they scan his. Oh, they've got the database already lined up. His scans is already there, even though it's my apparatus. Imagine that, man. In other words, the rumored tech would work just like the iPhone's existing Face ID and Touch ID unlock tools. Oh, don't y'all just love it? You see the new Apple Watch, man, that can tell women when they're ovulating, if you're doing the breaststroke or the backstroke, if you're walking or you're jogging, if you got into a car accident. I mean, the tech is already damn near living within you. You know, people just look at it like, oh, it's convenient, man. I love this thing. Oh, this is so cool. Until you're not you no more. You dig what I'm saying? That's why it's a metaverse. You know, and they show the movies, man. The multiverse with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, and to simulate us into the imaginative thinking that this is where we're supposed to be. After being locked down for a year and a half, man, people depressed, don't want to come outside no more. You get your food delivered to you, just sit in the damn chair all day. Food delivered, grocery delivered. All you gotta do is get up, shower and shave, as they say. Well, not shave. That's Esau, man. We don't do that as Israelites. But you know what I'm saying. The Wally, that movie Wally. That's exactly what they're trying to create, man. Let's move on. Oh, look what they discovered, man. Look what they've done. The face of God, incredible model, shows how Jesus Christ may have looked as a hyper realistic sculpture based on the Shroud of Turin and veil. I mean, do I need to talk about this? Do I really need to go there? I believe this is in some museum in Italy. These damn bastards still got the nerve to push this narrative that this is what Yahweh Shah look like. Can you imagine? And they got him naked. I've seen enough. But just so that y'all know, they still are out there promoting and pushing the same old bullshit. There goes Caesar Borgia right there, man. All right, let me leave that alone. I mean, this is ridiculous. Hyper realistic. Do you understand? Hyper realistic. This is what he may have looked like. Wow. Wow. Gold is migrating from west to east. The question is, listen, you got nations like China, Turkey, um, racking up and stacking up gold, man, creating a new uh, currency backed by gold. America is saying take the metals because we're getting ready to shift into a whole new digital platform of currency. This is how we're going to build back better with this, great reset. Because when the bottom completely drops up out of this whole world economy, there's only going to be a couple of things that's still precious enough that can stand its own as it's done throughout the test of time. We read about silver and gold in the scriptures. That's still here. We don't read about greenbacks, Washingtons, Franklins, and Dubs. You understand? We're not reading about rubles and UN. What do they call them? Yens and all that. We don't read about that. Francs, pounds. What we do still see is silver and gold. And it stand the test of time for millennials. And China and the other nations, they get it. They say, "Oh, we're going to buy and stack up heavy gold." They've got massive gold deposits in China, Russia. There's a picture of the damn queen in her vault with tons of gold. Let me see if I can find that. Look at her. Look at all witch, man. You know how many tons of gold this is in here? This what she was sitting on. With her creepy Emperor Palpatine looking husband back here. He even gave up the ghost too. They in there stacking up coins, man. But the nigger over here got this money phones and spreading out, this damn monopoly money down their arms, thinking that that's really gonna, help them survive in these times. According to a Bloomberg report, large volumes of metal are being drawn out of vaults in financial centers like New York and heading east to meet demand in Shanghai's gold market or Istanbul's Grand Bazaar. In fact, Asian suppliers are having a difficult time getting enough bullion into Asian markets. As a result, there has been a significant increase in premiums in many Asian countries. September's average premium in China reached the highest monthly level for nearly 6 years. The incentive to hold gold is a lot lower. It's going from west to east now. So the U.S. is out here trying to discourage and manipulating the prices of gold and silver, pushing them off. But the other nations is like, oh, we're not no suckers, man. We'll take it. We'll take it. New York and London have reported an exodus of more than 527 tons of gold since the end of April, according to data from the CME Group and the London Bullion Market Association. At the same time, gold imports into China hit a 4-year high in August. And then you got to know that Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, the BRICS nations are out there trying to create a new economy that takes them off of the gold standard so that they can try to create a whole new world currency. And as we can see, it's going to be backed by gold. That's the standard that's going to stand on. Right now, the dollar ain't standing on nothing but more paper. India, Turkey, Thailand, and Saudi Arabia have also reported increased imports of gold. So when you start seeing even the manipulations of currencies and values of precious metals shifting from one place to another, you know something big is going to go down economically in the very near future. The other nations are hedging up. America is sitting out here ready to collapse and crumble and come in with a force-fed plan of how you're going to and we're going to survive through their new economy. Fake Meat Anyone, Israeli company to export product touted by WF fake news media company. An Israeli company called Redefined Meat has announced a deal to partner with an importer that will deliver its lab-grown meat into Western Europe, where World Economic Forum puppet governments are forcing ranchers and farmers to cull their herds of cattle, chickens, and swine. Redefined Meat markets its product under the brand name New Meat. We got Impossible Meat, we got New Meat, and then we've got what's the other one? Impossible. Uh I forgot the other one. There's two of them. It's Impossible and something else. Anybody know? Impossible Meat. Uh, Combine. Yeah, feed. That's on Amazon, right? I think that's it. Yeah, on Amazon. But nonetheless, uh, but the fake meat is on the rise, man. Look, quote, redefined meat markets is product under the brand name quote new meat using 3D printers to manufacture pieces of meat that mimic steaks, tenderloins, and other choice cuts. It is said in a released last Thursday. They used genetically modified cells to grow this meat in a lab. According to a report by Thomson Reuters, the Israeli startup company, which raised 170 million in financing this year, operates large-scale meat printers at its headquarters south of Tel Aviv and a new factory in the Netherlands, where it plans to develop its products as an alternative to real meat raised by ranchers in fields and farmlands. And as it says up here earlier, ranchers and farmers were being forced to cull their herds of beef, cattle, chicken, and swine. We seen that was a whole strike going on with the Dutch farmers in the Netherlands and all of that, as they were being told that they had to cut off 30% of their cattle supply for the environment. And now here, all of a sudden, here you got the Israeli company saying, "Well, we can print up some 3D fake meat and we'll sell it to them." And you know, in the U.S., the FDA has already approved clone meat for sale. We covered that last week, but just in case y'all forgot, let me back up real quick before I get up out of here. Oh, okay. This is since how long? January 2008, January 2009. It was published. FDA approves clone meat for consumption. I mean, do we really know what we're eating? And you say, "Well, I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian." Okay. Uh, with the earth being depleted of so many minerals, I mean, Isaiah 24 says the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Uh, what is it, Ezekiel 4 says we're going to eat our defiled meat in our captivity. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're out here doing this whole thing, man. And now new meat is being created for the Europeans to consume. And they got $107 million to back up the production so they can get this thing moving. Utilizing 3D printers of all things. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. Let's move on. Look at this. Moderna CEO admits only the vulnerable need to get that boost and likens the virus to the flu. Oh, imagine that. Moderna CEO said that. Oh, but when IQ said it 2 years ago, he got the channel flagged. Oh, when he said it, oh, that was medical misinfo. So I'm not saying it, YouTube. For the record, I'm reading an article where Moderna CEO said that the DVOC is like the flu. Hmm. See how that works, man? You notice how a lot of vindication starts coming out, man. Not just me, other brothers and sisters was out there saying it. The heathen was out there saying certain things, man, standing on a right narrative with this whole thing. But don't worry, the new strands is coming. It should be treated more like the flu, with only the vulnerable needing the shots. Wow. Moderna CEO says this, huh? 2 years later. You know how many people are still sitting back regretting that they got poked in the arm because they want to save their job? Because boss said I can't work if I don't get it. You know how many people are still regretting because of the health issues? You know how many people, kids is killing over with um, uh, heart issues and all this other stuff, man, from what's home chick's name, man? I forgot her name, but I know she played on the thing. Yeah, look at this. Former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes' son suffers a stroke and heart failure. How old was the young man? Former Atlanta Wives house star Nene Leakes has announced that her 23-year-old son suffered heart failure and a stroke last month. Good Lord. I mean, all you got to do is look and see what some of the side effects are from people that got the protocols of the health scare done to them. You understand? There you go. 23 years old, man. Had a stroke. I'm willing to bet whatever's on the table that he rolled up that sleeve. And now they out here saying what? It should be treated like the flu. And only if you're vulnerable, meaning if you got pre-existing conditions, bad health, blah 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 blah, you should get these things. You should get the treatments. He said it is very important to think about whether or not to get the boost. He said now you should be thinking about whether you should. Before it was mandated. Before it was like get it or else. Now he's saying you should really think about it before you do it. Very interesting. And it will be up to young people to decide for themselves what they want to do. Well, apparently not, because aren't they now mandating that I think it's through this. Oh. CDC advisors recommend adding the 91 DVOC shots to the regular immunization schedule. Oh, it should be part of immunization schedule. CDC is advising this. But one of the creators of the treatment, he says it should be up to young people to decide for themselves what they want to do. You should really think about it. But the same people that lined his pockets up are telling him, shut up, because we're going to make this part of the mandatory schedule of vaccine treatments for kids. I mean, that's going to be added with the mumps, measles, and rubella. Smallpox is going to be added on with the chicken pox. Is going to be added on with the polio. Is going to, yeah, you feel me? Like this is where they're at with it now. Man. They're not backing away from this thing. They're not backing down. They're doubling down the fact, regardless of what they're saying. I mean, they came out and said, "Hey, we dropped the ball on this thing, man. We didn't handle it right. Yeah, we made some mistakes. Blah 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 blah." But they don't give a damn. Full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. See, just as I say that, I have to say it. I got to put it out. It's August 17, 2022. CDC to get shakeup after they admit to what? Mistakes. Prior to this pandemic, our infrastructure within the agency and around the country was too frail to tackle. We confronted this thing. Uh, CDC director acknowledges mistakes to staff, but we just got through seeing them say, "No, we're recommending that this get added to the kids' immunization cycle of pokes." Let me get off of this, man, before they do something to this channel. Turkey said the test fire secretly developed ballistic missile. Just getting back into the warfare again. Turkey now is engaging, and they're set to make sure that they've got their defenses and their weapons ready for what the incoming war. All the nations is out here calculating, making sure that they're prepared. So Turkey's out testing wars, man. Iran's already boots on the ground, drones going. You dig what I'm saying? Turkey is already starting to rebel a little bit against NATO and America. So we'll see where this relationship goes. Oakland cops hope to arm robots with lethal shotguns. So robot cops now are being promoted, and hopefully they're hoping that they can get some damn near Terminator bots in there with some shotguns in Oakland, in the town of all places. In a series of little noted Zoom meetings this fall, the city of Oakland, California, grappled with the question whose consequences could shape the future of American policing. Should cops be able to kill people with shotgun armed robots? The back and forth between the Oakland Police Department and the civilian oversight body concluded with the police relinquishing their push for official language that would have allowed them to kill humans with robots under certain circumstances. It was a concession to the civilian committee, which pushed to bar arming robots with firearms, but a concession only for the time being. So they are out here trying to eliminate human involvement, human error with robots with shotguns. And since when has a robot not been able to be hacked? Uh, they've got bots, AI that they've had cases where the AI uh, racial profiled, did quote unquote hate speech. This is just in normal computer issues. I'm not talking about with robots or whatever, but just the fact that because you got to realize who's doing the coding for these AI, a human. So when they're implementing their own thoughts and coding these own thoughts into these things, that makes the AI subject to default on some of these left field programs that they get. So, see, now I got to give you an example. Okay, look at this. MIT apologizing for training AI system to use racial slurs. Okay, so do we see that? MIT pulls a massive AI data set over racist and misogynistic content. So again, who's programming this stuff? Who's programming this stuff? Twitter caught Microsoft's AI chatbot to be a racist a-hole. And now they're out here talking about how they want to put AI in control of some shotguns. Racial discrimination and face recognition technology. A U.S. government study confirms most facial recognition systems are racist. Oh, this is from who? MIT. Get out of here. MIT Technology Review. A U.S. government study confirms most face recognition systems are racist. So AI is racist. They already are learning the language. What's that mean for you and me? When they go full blown AI, robots armed, and the whole nine, we won't stand a chance in hell, man. Let's move on. Ukraine asked Israel in an official letter for air defense systems. They're out there still begging for more help, trying to get Israel involved. Well, maybe Israel might now get somewhat involved because of Iran's involvement. They're arch enemies. Maybe they will help them. But then again, you got many Russian Jewish people who still make residence in Israel. A lot of them oligarchs got their money over there. So they may not. They've been telling them no. This ain't the first time they asked. But if Ukraine is winning the war, why they keep running around begging everybody for help? They want more money from the U.S. They want acceptance into NATO. They're asking Israel to send air defense systems. They need help. But they just got to talking about how Putin is losing the war. Unreal. Look at this. What happens? I covered this before. I just want to show y'all one more time. What happens if nukes fall? Expert reveals which areas of London, New York, and other cities will be instantly obliterated by a Putin strike, where you'd stand your best chance of surviving. There was even an article, man, that I seen. They were talking about how New York was looking at revealing its blast and bomb shelters. Let's look at that real quick. See this? New York is filled with thousands of abandoned bomb shelters. New York City bomb shelters. New York fallout cities, how to survive a nuclear attack. See, and they're talking about activating these shelters again now because of the threat of war. You see, I showed y'all the PSA in the little video. They were talking about what to do in the event of a nuclear attack. I mean, why are they talking about all this stuff, man? If the reality isn't clear that could possibly happen, they got the bug out bags they've been handing out in everywhere from New York to Denver to all over the damn place, telling everybody get ready. Let's look at it. The effects of a nuclear blast on London. Estimated 406,590 fatalities immediately. Estimated injuries 877,000. Right? Here's the color code right here. The yellow, fireball, everything is vaporized. So everything within this fireball, vaporized, gone, nothing survives, flesh melting, everything's out of here, right? In the red, heavy blast damage, fatalities are near 100%. Even outside in this ring right here, down there everybody's dead. Okay. Um, in the green, radiation likely fatal. If you get exposed to radiation, your maximum living life is maybe a week to 2 weeks. Um, in the blue, medium blast damage, most buildings will collapse. That's going to have injuries and fatalities as well. In the orange, thermal radiation, third degree burns. Do y'all remember what the third degree burns look like? How far away from the blast would that be? Want to see? Look, you wasn't even near the blast, but look at this. This is what it would look like if you got hit after the fact. I mean, that's a fake arm, but you're definitely going to have some markings and scarrings, right? That's this whole area out here. Light blast damage, windows are shattered, anything outside of that. So, just imagine that's in London. It's the same thing in New York, anywhere else. I forgot how much the entire radius is, but it's miles. I think it's like up to like 4 or 5 miles that this whole distance could be hit. So forget about let the wind blow and the radiation blows off into different areas, infects land, animals, cattle, so forth and so on. That can damage the water supplies. I mean, it's a whole mess. That's just immediate impact deaths and what can happen after the fact. We ain't talking about the fallout after that. So it's all bad. U.S. Democrats are turning up the heat on the Saudis, man. They didn't like the fact that they said we ain't pumping no more oil. The hell with you, slow Biden, get up out of here. And now the U.S. is trying to make threats to Saudi Arabia and saying, "How dare you? How dare you turn down this great whore? How dare you turn down this good?" You know what I was about to say. How dare you turn down this drink, the wrath of the fornication, man? Saudi Arabia said, "We've had enough. We've had enough." Okay. And that's why you see the dragons of Arabia over there in Second Ezra 15, which is including the Carmanians, which is the Iranians, modern day. Uh, where is we at? I think it's where I want. Second Ezra. Let me read a little bit real quick, man. I'm not gonna go too in depth with this for time's sake, but we got yeah. Yeah, here you go. Second Ezra 15, verse 20. Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done unto them. So Libanus is uh mountain in Lebanon, right? So this is the so-called Middle East. They're gonna have conflict, there's gonna be warfare, right? Um, let me drop down. Uh I want to drop down to verse 29, I think. Yeah, here you go. Me 27 says, "For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and with the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble." So you're going to see how the dragons of Arabia, man, all of the different tribal families of the Arabians, from the United Arab Emirates to Saudi Arabia to Qatar and all these other nations over there, they're all going to be a conglomerate dealing in warfare. This is why they've taken a stand against America right now, and they're cozying up to Russia, they're cozying up to China, so that they can involve themselves in. Uh, you see, they was out there trying to purchase up that gold. They already cut off the oil supply, said we're not pumping no more oil, and they said, matter of fact, slow Biden tried to tell us to hold off on the production after the election. He wanted us to keep pumping until after the election. Once they won, he said, then you can cut them off. They didn't like that the Saudi prince exposed that, right? So it says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, that's in northern Iraq. Carmania was northern Iraq, which is pretty much Iran today. Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So we're seeing here that the Arab nations, the Persian and the Iranian nations are going to come into warfare. They're going to be fighting. It's going to be going up against the Great Whore. There's going to be warfare that happens over in those lands. They're going to be attacking Israel. They're going to be attacking America and the NATO nations. It's going to be all hell breaking loose. It said they're going to go forth as wild boars in the wood. That's why you see them. They're already over there involving themselves with Russia's affairs, partnering up. So now the Democrats say, well, we're going to turn up the heat on the Saudis, man. They turned us down with the oil. In Washington, or at least some corners of it, knives are being sharpened for Saudi Arabia. It's been almost 2 weeks since Ryder and his counterparts in the OPEC Plus cartel moved to raise global oil prices by announcing its largest supply cut in years, no matter the desperate entreaties of the Biden administration. The resulting fallout still smolders in Washington, where many interpreted the decision as a calculated act to humiliate President Biden and undermine his party's prospects ahead of upcoming midterm elections. on top of boosting the fossil fuel subsidized war machine of President Vladimir Putin. Dropping down, it says there must be consequences for fleecing the American people in order to support Putin's unconscionable war. Kahana said in a statement. Kahana said in a statement. Do you see that? There must be consequences for fleecing the American people. He said, man, you don't turn down America. You don't turn down Babylon, man. You follow orders. And now we're seeing why were they able to do that? Uh, look at it, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So not only is that going to be in the civil matter, but we're going to see it on a global matter in regards to politics, democracy, so forth and so on. They saying, how dare you turn down America? You're not supposed to do that. But what? The Lord said, they shall not regard kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. There must be consequences for fleecing the American people in order to support Putin's unconscionable war. I mean, they got no problem supporting Ukraine and Taiwan and everywhere else. But as soon as another nation supports who they think is in the right, oh, they all wrong, man. The hypocrisy of America, boy. Florida suffers record levels of deadly flesh-eating bacteria after Hurricane Ian, killing 6 so far. So the plagues just don't stop, man. Flesh-eating bacteria down there in Florida, from the water, from all of the mixing of from the sewage, the stools, piss, you name it, food, land. They had crocodiles and they had alligators and sharks swimming in the water. I mean, everything was all jacked up over there, man. Now they got flesh-eating bacteria. North Korea fires artillery shells. They're saying grave warning in South Korea. I mentioned that earlier. They're still out there firing artillery shells, launching nuclear tests, doing all kind of matters, man. That could be a whole nother war that gets set off. Remember, the Most High said, "Woe unto Asia." They're going to be getting caught up in war too, man. They're going to get plagued. They're going to have their whole existence challenged. U.S. heating worries mount amid growing costs and uncertainty. So, Slow Biden said, "Oh yeah, we see what's happening over there in Europe. That's not going to happen here, as they're over there concerned about energy power and energy prices accelerating, lack of gas and resources. So all those things is happening. So, oh, that's not going to happen here. What? U.S. heating worries amount amid growing costs and uncertainty. People are already getting hit with cold storms in the East Coast. Already getting hit with cold storms in the Midwest." And it's what, close to the latter end of October. Winter ain't even really kicked in yet, and the prices of the energy and the cost for them to keep the heat on is accelerating, and it's like people are concerned whether or not they're going to be able to afford their power bills coming up this winter. Okay, that's what this article is about. Shots fired. Russian fighter jet fires a missile near RAF nuke sniffer spy plane over the Black Sea in a dangerous class. I mentioned this earlier, that Russian fighter jet fired a missile off on a spy plane of I believe it was Great Britain, right? See this? This the plane, yeah, Great Britain. And they said that it was a malfunction. Jet fired the mission due to a malfunction. Yeah, believe that if you want to. That was more of a warning. Now imagine if that malfunction actually hit that plane, World War III would have been lit. The UK would have to say, man, we got an unprovoked attack on us from Russia, man. NATO, we got to act. That could have been it right there. That's how close we are. That's how close we are. This is the collapse of the UK, man. Liz quits. Liz Truss dramatically quits as prime minister after 44 days. 44 days. Marred by a mini budget fiasco and Tory infighting. So we see the UK continually falling into turmoil. Economically, they're in trouble. They got infighting in the political system. The new prime minister, or the old prime minister, Liz Truss, she was in there for 44 days, man, and said, this is madness. I'm out of here. When she got elected in, she said, I'm a fighter. I don't quit. We're going to turn this around. I got an economic plan, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do this. 44 days later, she said, you know what? I realize I can't do this. See this? Standing outside number number 10 this afternoon, Miss Truss said, I came into office at a time of great economic and international instability. Families and businesses were worried about how to pay their bills. Putin's illegal war in Ukraine threatens the security of our whole continent. And she continued on. She was talking about, I realized I can't do nothing. So the UK is pretty much collapsing, man. And she said, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna be the fall guy for what's finna happen. Find somebody else to be the scapegoat, but I'm not the one. I'm out of here. That's got to be the shortest run of a damn prime minister in history, barring death or something like that. But she was in there for 6 weeks, man. And said, I'm out of here. This is about to be a mess, and I don't want no parts of it. Food crisis of 2023 is going to be far worse than most people would dare to imagine. Made mention of that, man. The fertilizer, I think they said 2/3 of the fertilizer companies, man, is damn near down. That's the main, export for, excuse me, food growth or whatnot, and food production. That's down. Um, I can't say it no more, man. We just got to seeing about the chicken, the turkey, the bird flu outbreaks and all that other stuff, man. It's gonna be bad, man. The food that is gonna be available is going to be super expensive. Um, Prepare while you can. That's all I can say. Look at it. Slow Biden. This is why America's getting ready to get hit. This is why America's looked at as weak. Biden welcomes a trans TikToker to the Oval Office after she sparked controversy for saying she will be a mom one day. And Slow Biden loves it. And said, come on in, dude. A viral TikTok star and transgender activist visited President Joe Biden to discuss his transition and transgender issues in the U.S. Dylan Mulvaney, who has documented his days of girlhood through the app, revealed that he and members of Now This News would be visiting the White House. I'm ready to step up and show trans people we're not going anywhere, and that trans kids, they deserve a fighting chance to be true. I'm not even gonna read any more of this. This is ridiculous. He's trying to talk about trans kids. Why are you focusing in on kids, man? You're a grown damn man. And we're constantly hearing about these kids that are being pressured by child psychologists and child doctors, throwing them on pills, throwing them on hormone altering drugs. Then they end up growing up regretting that they went through all of this, all this tragedy, man, jacked up their whole biology because they're out here playing mind games, man, and having these damn child psychologists sitting up in there talking about, oh, you're depressed. Maybe it's because you're not comfortable with who you are. Maybe you really should experiment. Go out. All of that stuff, man. All of that stuff is going on. Y'all know it, man. And Slow Biden is out here entertaining, grinning, cheek to cheek, allowing these things to, come up into the White House. You dig what I mean? What you say, Natalie? Whether vegan meat substitutes or various brands of fake meat. This is a lot of focus on me. Yeah, yeah. What is it? Aldi's just got approved to sell bugs for consumption. So there you go. You got Beyond Meat. Yeah, Impossible Meat and Beyond Meat. Let me share the last article with y'all real quick, man. See that? I just want to make sure I'm sharing. Aldi's consider selling edible insects amid cost of living crisis. Well, we know that the scriptures give us edible and non-edible, you know, bugs if need be. But they're trying to push this as if like start now. Aldi consider selling edible insects amid cost of living crisis. So yeah, Naftali, if it ain't the meat, man, they want you, they want us eating bugs, man. It doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, man, lot of things going on. A lot of things going on, you know. But nonetheless, man, just be prepared, man. Get ready. Always fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Um, if you haven't wiped your feet yet, man, make sure you wipe your feet on your way out, man. Don't do your brother like that. I'm over here slaving over this hot stove, man, trying to make sure that I got some food ready for y'all. Don't come in and troll, watch, and run. Show some respect. But hit the button. That's all. I'm not making no money from it. It's not monetized. I'm just trying to make sure that the algorithm keeps the video visibility alive, man, and the notification can get out to those who haven't gotten it. Because for sure, YouTube ain't sending this out to everybody, right? Um, Other than that, man, y'all have a blessed evening. Appreciate y'all staying up with me, locking in, getting some of this DSTM, good cooking. You dig what I'm saying? Tomorrow, I'll be live again with another lesson in regards to inflation, poverty. I mean, uh, what am I calling it? Inflation, prophecy, preparation, and famine. All those are going to be encompassing, man. I'm gonna really take a different angle on it. It's going to be very interesting, man. So tune in tomorrow, man, on the Sabbath, closing Sabbath class, 4 p.m. Pacific time, man. We're going to get it in again tomorrow, all right? But now, Tolly, man, hey, I covered the article, man, where they're approving human remains for compost for gardening. Essentially, essentially cannibalism, man, where you can use human remains as compost for your garden, man, in replacement of compost fertilizers. Just ironically, now all of a sudden there's fertilizer shortages, and they're talking about uh, hold on, hold on. Let me, because you brought up the point, and I know I. Let me show this to y'all real quick. The answer is yes, my brother. The answer is yes. Look at this. Human remains can be used as compost in 2027 under new California law. Human compost and burial legalized in California. That's California. I think they already approved it in Oregon or Colorado, one of the two. But yeah, man. I mean, you might as well say that they're good with cannibalism. Imagine that. Imagine that, man. So y'all know the routine, man. I'm out of here. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, staying up with me. And in closing, always remember, man, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't ever shoot your messenger. Shalom.